In today's video, we're going over 5 things I hate about my F30 BMW. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Josh. If you like my videos, make sure to give them a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and check me out over at JG Media over on Instagram. Like previously mentioned, today we are going over the 5 things I hate about my F30 320i, as well as we were giving the F30 a much needed oil change. So here is the F30 320. So if you didn't already know, I own a 2015 M2 35i, as well as we recently just picked up this 2017 320i in Melbourne metallic red, a beautiful spec, a 2017 with about 40,000 miles on it, in an automatic transmission. And to jump right on in, the first thing I absolutely hate about this car has got to be the halogen headlights. So when we bought the car, the exterior of the car wasn't necessarily a deal breaker or anything. I've just kind of grown fond of the timeless BMW angel eyes look that over time, driving this car and experiencing this car, the headlights have just become such an eyesore for me. So this wasn't necessarily a deal breaker or anything, as the car did come with the specs that we were looking for in the navigation, the rear view camera, the extended instrument cluster, as well as the heated seats and the weather package. This wasn't necessarily a deal breaker or anything, but just over time and seeing and experiencing the car, it's just something that has become almost an eyesore, and seeing what the F30 could look like, I just absolutely hate these headlights. So if you guys have any recommendations for me on upgrading these headlights, please do drop a comment down below and let me know. So the second thing I hate about the F30 has got to be the body style. I absolutely hate the base bumpers. So we're going to be using some OW20 oil as well as this man filter. The F30 320 takes a little over 5 quarts, so we should be good with just this 5 quarts right here. So when we got the F30, again, like the headlights, the body style wasn't a deal breaker or anything. It's just over time, getting used to the car, driving it every day and experiencing the car, and then seeing what an F30 could look like with the M Sport package bumpers, it just looks night and day different. That now just the base model bumpers just look so plain, boring, and outdated. I won't say it really bothers me, but I definitely just do dislike the base model bumpers very much so, especially seeing after a bunch of the different YouTubers, the Kies channel, Thick Whips, Justin Bice, all having these beautiful M Sport F30s that just look so good, and then compared to just like the base model bumpers, the F30 just looks night and day different. So who knows, maybe one day we'll do the M Sport bumpers. That really isn't on the to-do list of this car. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We got the N20 just because my justification would be, well, it's just an N20 and I'm not going to go all in on it like I did with my 235i. So if I would have gotten, let's say, a B58 and a 340, I probably would be doing all of these different upgrades and going all in just like I did on the N55. But the justification being, well, it's just an N20, it's just a family daily driver that we're just going to keep it as a good daily reliable vehicle for us. So who knows, maybe one day we'll do the M Sport package bumpers, but for now I'm just gonna have to settle with disliking the base bumpers. So then while we got the hood open and the engine bay exposed, the third thing I absolutely hate about this F30 320 and pretty much F-Series BMWs in general is just gotta be the stock charge pipe and the stock boost pipe. So I recently upgraded these in a previous video. I'll have them linked up top in the cards if you guys want to check that out. But I absolutely hate how BMW just, obviously it's a cost-effective thing to just mass produce these parts, but this boost pipe and this rubber nonsense and this plastic charge pipe just being prone to failure is just something that I've seen so often that it seems like it should be a recall, being that so many people have issues with the charge pipe exploding up here, being that it's just brittle plastic that just gets super brittle over time. We obviously have this problem remedied here with the beautiful Kies charge pipes, but I just hate how such a simple problem is just not remedied at all right from the dealership. This, in my opinion, probably should have been recalls for the amount of times I've seen people saying, hey, what's this? And it's just another blown charge pipe or a boost pipe has exploded. So every time I do an oil change, the goal is always to do the oil change successfully with as little to no spillage at all if possible. I don't know if it is, because every single time I'm like, all right, I'm doing this oil change, no spills, and almost every single time there's always a bunch of spills. So gotta love it. If you can do an oil change in your driveway with zero spillage, you're a champ. So then the fourth thing I definitely hate about this BMW, and I feel like I have to like be nitpicky and kind of like push it, because I definitely don't hate this car at all, but I definitely do think it's a big issue, and I think it's more of like an annoyance with most people, is the inner door handles. So I feel like it's kind of weird to say like, oh, I hate the door handles. Doesn't really make much sense, but if you have an F-Series or maybe even an E-Series, as I used to have an E90 that suffered from this problem, but you'll know that the inner door handles get like just sticky, melted over time, which is just really annoying. It's really frustrating when you go to get out of the car and just hands just full of this sticky mess. So I remember I was having this conversation with somebody online, and they were like, why does BMW make their inner door handles from clay? And I was just like, wow, that's hilarious. That's really just the best way to put it, because it's over time with the sun and whatnot, they literally just like melt and get sticky. So luckily enough for us, Kies Motorsports does have a solution to this problem, as even if like Mine's not too bad, even though it's still like, it's just like kind of just like this rubbery, gooey, like, I don't know. If you like push your fingers in it, you can like leave an indentation, and just like shoving my finger in it, it gets a little sticky. Now mine isn't melted too bad, but even if you just put your finger in it, it leaves an indent, and just like, these are just crap, honestly. So I do have a set from Kies Motorsports. I have them in beige, so I'm gonna go ahead and one of these days we'll install that, as well as we have the black interior in here, so we're gonna go ahead and spray paint the inner door handles. It'll be pretty subtle, as the inner door handle is not even very visible. So I'm gonna spray paint them black, and stay tuned because that'll be a future video. So then the fifth thing I absolutely hate about this BMW is that I don't hate this BMW at all. So truthfully, in trying to think of, planning this video and think of the 5 things I dislike, truthfully it was kind of a stretch to just kind of like push it and figure out. I mean, yeah, I can be nitpicky and whatnot and be like, alright, well, I hate the fact that it's not a B58 engine, but I purposely went and did that. I purposely and consciously bought an N20. So I definitely don't hate that I have an N20. This car has been very reliable. I mean, I feel like even just pushing it with the last thing of the door handles was definitely pushing it. That was an issue with my old E90. But other than that, the E90 was super reliable. And then this car at 40,000 miles has been super reliable. It's just pretty much exactly what we got it for, just to be a reliable daily driver for my entire family, something that we can just get in and go when we need to, and it's been as reliable as we could ask it to be. So other than that, I mean, I don't hate that I got an N20. Truthfully, if I was going to do it again, I probably would go for a B58, but when I bought this car, it was because the justification would be, alright, well, it's just an N20. I'm not going to go all in like I am on my N55 M2 35i. The justification being, well, it's just an N20, so we'll just leave it as it is. We'll do the maintenance and have it be just the daily driver that we're looking for. I mean, it's spacious enough for what we need, and my German Shepherd, to lug her around, it's everything we need it for. It's the comfort of the weather package. It's the comfort of the spaciousness. It's got everything we need with navigation. The extended instrument cluster is cool. So I mean, everything that we need and everything that we needed it for, we have. So truthfully, I definitely don't hate this car at all. I mean, yeah, every car is gonna have its quirks and whatnot, one of them being like the charge pipes that I mentioned earlier. Another thing to look out for these N20s would be the timing chain, but this car is still relatively new, so I don't really think I'm gonna have to worry about that. And like I said, it's justified as just an N20, so I'm not gonna go all in on this car. I'm not gonna beat it into the ground. I'm not gonna drive it too hard where I'm gonna have to replace those type of things because I'm driving it so hard. So other than that, truthfully, I genuinely do really much enjoy this car. Yeah, it's just an N20. It's not the greatest of engine. It's not gonna push the most power. It's not the fastest car. But for what it is, it's just a good, reliable car that has been just that for the entire time we've owned it. So other than that, I truthfully do love this car. It's still a BMW. It's still the ultimate driving machine. So in all, I definitely don't hate this car at all. I'm very grateful to have this car and be able to drive my M2 35i as well. Yeah, there's a few things that, need remedying, but that's what we got companies like Kies Motorsports for. They can help us remedy these small issues like the charge pipes and the door handles and these little things that definitely need to get remedied. But overall, this car has been a joy to drive. It's super reliable. And other than that, I'm just very grateful for it. But yeah, if there was a few things that I did have to nitpick about, it would be, let's say, the bumpers as well. Just being that the Melbourne metallic red has really grown on me. So then being able to see wow, this car would look really good in that red with the M Sport bumpers. Especially just being that once you see a few of these different M Sports and you're just like, man, it is night and day difference compared to the base model, the M Sport. But who knows, maybe one day. But as of now, that is not on my agenda. This car is, besides just the maintenance, just gonna stay where it's at with just being a reliable daily driver, and I'm gonna just continue to go all in on the M2 35i if anything. So I'm gonna wrap this one up about there. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you like my videos, make sure to give them a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Check me out over at JG Media, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.